On December 10th, 2021, I did my yearly Northern Virginia housing market predictions video for 2022. Well, in this video, I'll be reacting to my predictions I made last year, and we'll see how right I was, and we'll definitely see how wrong I was. So stay tuned because we're getting started right now. Hey everybody, it is David, your favorite realtor. As always, you know it's another beautiful day right here in Northern Virginia. And if it's your first time here on my channel, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button because every week I release videos what it's like to live, work, play, pros and cons, top neighborhoods, cost of living, basically everything that you need to know about living right here in Northern Virginia. So I'm super excited about this week's video. We're gonna look at some clips of the video I did last year and really put myself on the spot to really see how accurate I was. And I was definitely right on with a lot of things, but definitely wrong with a lot of others as well. I'll say this, it's been a very interesting year in real estate to say the least. So let's get it started right now. Now my predictions for 2022. So what I believe is gonna happen is, it's basically gonna be a watered down version of 2021. So what I mean there is, homes this year have appreciated up to 14% here in Northern Virginia. What I think is gonna happen in 2022 is homes are gonna appreciate not as high. It's gonna be a deceleration of appreciation, but I believe they'll appreciate anywhere from 8 to 10% this year. So I do have to say I was probably right on with this prediction. So if you look at the average sales price of a home in the 4 major counties here in Northern Virginia, and that's gonna be Loudoun County, Arlington, Fairfax, and Prince William County, the average sales price of a home in 2021 was $662,000. Well, so far this year, from January all the way to October, the average sales price of a home in the same 4 counties is $719,000. So homes in Northern Virginia have appreciated by exactly 8% compared to 2021. I will say this though, the majority of the appreciation probably happened in the first and second quarter of 2022, because at that time we still had low interest rates and homes were still flying off the shelves, getting 5 to 10 offers, selling for 20, 40, 50, even $100,000 over asking price. But prices have pretty much leveled off this past like 4 or 5 months or so, really ever since interest rates have shot up through the roof. So home values shooting up 8% in 1 year is still a huge number, by the way. Really historically over time, 3 to 5% appreciation is pretty standard in a normal market. And the reason why I believe it's still gonna be that high is I don't see an influx of inventory coming. And that's kind of where this whole problem comes from, is there's still so much demand, but there's no homes for sale, and I just don't see an influx of homes coming. So we definitely did not have an influx of inventory here in Northern Virginia. In fact, inventory dropped slightly compared to 2021. And I actually remember back in January, February, March of this year, I literally never seen inventory levels this low in the 8 years I've been selling real estate. And I remember showing homes earlier in the year, and a lot of my clients, they were so frustrated about the lack of homes for sale. And they kept saying, hey David, like what is going on? We want to buy something, but we literally cannot find a home to save our lives. Now another aspect with the inventory here in Northern Virginia, and they don't talk about this in the news or any other YouTube videos, is 7% rates have definitely dropped buyer demand, but it's also dropped the inventory on the market as well. Let me explain. I meet with a lot of sellers, and a lot of sellers, they don't want to sell because they don't want to leave their home that has a 3% interest rate and move to a house that's actually less expensive, but it has a 7% rate, and they're gonna have a higher monthly payment by buying a less expensive house. Does not make sense. So they're deciding just to stay in their current home. Now, on the other side is, if someone's moving out of the state, they actually have to sell. But a lot of those sellers, they're deciding to become landlords now because they have such a low interest rate, they're gonna cash flow, making their home an investment property. So higher interest rates have 100% affected the amount of inventory hitting the market, which is something I definitely did not see coming. Another prediction I have is interest rates 100% will go up. How high, I do not know. Right now, all year, they probably average right around 3%. I think last I checked, they're in the low 3s still right now. So they're gonna raise at some point next year. In fact, Redfin predicted they're gonna raise up to 3.6% probably in the second quarter. So I was right and wrong with this prediction. So yes, interest rates did go up, but I personally thought 4% would be the max, but we're at 7% and nobody saw 7% interest rates coming. And then Redfin, as you can see right there, they predicted 3.6% as high as interest rates would go, and they were definitely wrong as well. In fact, if interest rates literally tomorrow dropped to 3.6%, you know what would happen? Every single house in the market in Northern Virginia would sell within 3 days. Well, hands down, 7% interest rates was the most unpredictable event to happen in real estate this year. So what I also believe a result of raised interest rates will be is there's gonna be a frenzy to buy a home in the first quarter, basically right after the holidays, because people are gonna want to keep those low interest rates. So I was 100% right on this one. Literally January 2nd of this year, the housing market went crazy. As I mentioned earlier, the inventory levels are extremely low. Interest rates are still in that 3.5% to 4% range, and there was so much demand. And literally the only criteria for a house to sell was just be a house. It didn't matter the updates it had, the location. It was gonna get multiple offers and sell for way over asking price. So low inventory will continue to be a problem with the housing market here in Northern Virginia. So if you're a seller, you're absolutely gonna love it. Selling next year in 2022, because you're gonna sell your house for top dollar, low contingencies, multiple offers. You're absolutely gonna love it. So I was right and wrong with this one. The first quarter of the year, yes, sellers are getting top dollar. Like I mentioned a million times, yeah, every house is selling above asking price. But around July, that's when things started to change. That's when interest rates started to hit about 6%, and that's when the demand for housing really slowed down, especially with condos and townhomes. Those took the biggest hit. So the sellers of those type of homes, they're definitely not getting top dollar. Now, I will say this, just because we have 7% interest rates right now, some homes are still selling above asking price, especially for beautifully updated single-family homes in a great location that are priced right. In fact, I just had a client last weekend submit an offer on a home in Fairfax. Beautiful single family home, all the bells and whistles. And a home at 6 offers. And we offered like $35,000 above asking price, and we came in like 3rd place out of 6. So even though, yes, the market has slowed down, the best of the best homes are still always gonna sell for top dollar. Now, more of my long-term prediction, like probably 4th quarter of 2022, going into 2023, I definitely believe this craziness will definitely slow down. Homes cannot keep on going up in value 10 to 15% every year. That is not sustainable. But I think it's still gonna be crazy, probably the first half of 2022. But I think the second half of next year, things will definitely slow down. It'll get a lot easier to buy a home. I think a lot more inventory will hit the market. And then going into 2023, that is when we'll see more of a balanced market. So yes, I think I was right on this one. We're currently in the 4th quarter of 2022. The craziness has definitely slowed down, but I definitely did not think it would be caused by the 7% interest rates. And yes, the best of the best homes, they're still selling the first weekend, and even some of those are still getting multiple offers as well. But the majority of the homes, they're not selling the first, second, or even third weekends, which is giving buyers a lot of leverage when it comes to negotiations. So the real estate market here in Northern Virginia, it is the most balanced I have seen it since the pandemic. We are so far away from the craziness that we saw in 2021 and earlier this year. So subtracting the 7% interest rates, I actually thought this year was pretty easy to predict in terms of the housing market. Now, the 2023 housing market, that's gonna be a complete different ball game. I still have no idea what my predictions is gonna be for next year. However, I will be releasing my 2023 housing market predictions here in the next 3 weeks or so, probably early December, so be on the lookout for that. I still have a lot more research to do for that video, especially since I think 2023 is gonna be a pivotal year for the housing market moving forward. And if you're even thinking about moving to the area, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Just know I got your back when you move into Northern Virginia. And if you want to continue your research, check out these videos right here. They're gonna be great resources for you, and I'll see you on the next video.